talk about your teaching, when you started with the writing project, how the writing project impacted on your teaching since that experience you had.
Okay.
And how that came into your classroom, how that is a living, breathing thing with you, and how you work in your classroom.
So I started teaching in January of 2002 at the school I teach in now. It's my 4th year teaching 3rd grade, before I taught 2nd grade. And I think I had a hard time before figuring out, like I was saying earlier, how to incorporate the curriculum, the test preparation, and good teaching all together in a way that was fun for me, fun for the kids, and made me feel like I was doing something positive in the classroom and fulfilled. And even with something as simple as morning pages, they knew genre like nobody's business. They were able to figure out the genre they wanted to write, the purpose of what they wanted to write, how to integrate content into their writing, because they practice it every single day. So when they came to the test and there were questions about genre and purpose and organization, they had firsthand experience, not just how do I answer a question about text organization. They had done it every single day, the entire school year. And now with the digital element, that was something I didn't even know I could do. When we started last summer, and one of our options was a digital story, I was freaking out. I didn't know how to use iMovie. When I was doing this in the writing project over the summer, I had no idea how to create a digital story. I didn't know how to use iMovie. I didn't know how to do any of it. And Joseph would come sit next to me, and I would tell him I was not doing a digital story anymore. I couldn't figure it out. And then one day it just all clicked together. All the pieces came together, and it just happened, and I did it, and it came out really well. So now I'm using that in my classroom. I'm using Glogster with my students to teach. We did that with text features in the beginning of the year, and I thought it was really, really good for my special education students. So I started an after-school club called Helping Hands last year. We meet once a week for about an hour and a half or so. And I thought it would be a really authentic way to integrate the environment and the digital in their storytelling by using the stream cleanup that we do each year. Well, when I started thinking about yesterday, just basically it was helpful to reflect on how I incorporate digital media in the classroom and with Helping Hands, and think about the obstacles. I had honestly forgotten the fact that I was so frustrated with iMovie until you reminded me that I had said that just a year ago. So it was helpful to think back to that point, because I so easily just maneuver through it now. I was struggling with the beginning part of the school year when I want to do the civil rights mini unit or something with Ruby Bridges. And like I always do, I just started thinking of too many things to incorporate. And she helped me break it down to just one project that would allow the kids to just have one continuous shot with iMovie that they wouldn't have to splice or really do anything to, that it would just be there for them, and we could just focus on doing a beginning title slide and then a credit slide, and that would just be their focus. They wouldn't have to worry about a whole lot else. And it would be using the civil rights idea. And Michelle's great idea was that I wanted to do something like a news brief, so it would just be one continuous shot. Just focus on Ruby Bridges and have the students do a news brief on Ruby's experience of this. This was the event that was happening, because that would easily incorporate the text I already have in place. And then I thought that, especially in the beginning of the year, they'll probably be working in groups. So each student in the group could take on the viewpoint of one of the people that was were really instrumental in Ruby's transition. So one could interview her mom and her dad, one could interview Mrs. Henry, her teacher, one could tell the story of Ruby, one could tell the story of the mob that was outside the school, and then one could be like the anchor reporter that would introduce everybody, so everyone would have their own role, so it wouldn't feel like everyone did the exact same thing. That was really helpful, and I'm really excited about going back and actually trying it, because I've been teaching Ruby Bridges now for, I think it's about 6 years we've been doing this in the classroom. I like to spice it up for myself too.